So Gail King husband cheated on her, and in one part of the interview, basically said he resented her, even though he was a Yale educated lawyer. I believe it was Yale or Harvard. I think it's Yale. We're gonna play the clip. But how he resented her, and we're finding out by a lot of women or ex-wives sharing their stories that a lot of black men resent successful black women. And what are women to do? Because a lot of women are making more than the men they date or their husbands. So I have a solution for this. I wrote about that in my book, 23,000 Guys You Might Meet, or Dating for Data, one of them. But I'm going to tell you what you should do. If you make more money than your husband, the guy you are dating, what do you think you should do? So let's go ahead and listen to this interview. Part of it, we're going to go to the part where she walked in on them butt naked in her living room in her towel.
Can you take me to that day? Like, how did you walk in on
Well,
them?
this was back in the day when you would go. I used to drive myself to the airport then, Alex.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Miss Gayle King.
Before Uber and Lyft and when you call it a car service. But I drove myself to the airport and the airline would call you to say, listen, your flight has been canceled, but you can if you get on the next one, you can get out of there. So I was in DC and, Kirby and Will were little. They were like 2 and 3 at the time. So, I said, guys, we got to hurry, go. I'd driven myself to the airport. So I didn't even have time to call and say, look, the flight was da-da-da-da-da. I'm coming home. I didn't have time to do any of that. We got to the airport, got in the car, came home. And the alarm was set, which I thought, that's strange because you're in here by yourself. You're a big ass, grown ass man. He never sets the alarm. And next thing I know, he comes flying out of the room and he's got a towel on. He goes, you can't come in. What do you mean you can't? I can't come in. What are you talking about? He goes, you can't come here. Come in. Someone's here. I go, someone like who? There's nobody here. I mean, I was so oblivious. There's nobody here. Get out of the way, Billy. There's nobody here. He goes, really, you can't come in. And so I start searching the house because I didn't believe him. I get down and there they are, or there she is, cowering behind the door in my towel, Alex. It was a nice bath sheet. In my towel.
What did you say?
I said, I can't believe that you are here and that you are doing this. I can't believe that you are doing this.
She was your friend.
Yes. And I even said, I thought we were friends. It sounded so pitiful. I thought we were friends.
You thought
you
thought you and the woman was friend, but he was your husband. You thought you and the woman was friend, but honey, that man was your husband. You should be telling him you can't believe he's doing this. See how the women like to blame the other woman versus blaming the husband you stood at the altar and got married to? Okay, so here's the part she's going to talk about how he resented her, okay?
It wasn't that. And I just started thinking about it. And I think, he probably wanted out of the marriage too, for whatever reason. And I remember that one therapist said, Gayle, this marriage can work if you become a doormat. He said to me, my ex said, I'll be so glad when this Gayle King shit is over. Now, listen, I was just a big fish in a little pond. I wasn't even.
He was resentful and he was jealous of you, Gayle. Your husband was resentful and jealous, even though he was well educated, but you getting all the attention, everybody knowing your name, he was jealous of that.
And this, I didn't have this kind of prominence. I was a local news anchor, but I was a big deal in my state where you're well known. I watch you all the time. And he just didn't like it. Keep in mind, he's a Yale educated lawyer. He's to this day one of the smartest people I know. I used to love talking to him because I love great conversation. Very, very smart. So the therapist said, if you want to become a doormat and do everything that he wants you to do, then this marriage can last. But it took me a while to understand that he really, really resented me. He really did. And I think, at the end,
he resented her. And Black women, you must be aware, marrying men who resents you or who grows to resent you eventually. Okay.
to the day, he probably didn't like me of all that I represented.
Wow.
And it's not like I walked around like, I'm Gayle King.
No, you just had a six.
I used to run his bathwater, Alex. A little bit of hot, a little bit of cold. I pick out his clothes because he was colorblind. I mean, I tried to do everything that I thought. I would fill up his car with gas so he wouldn't even have to get gas.
All the little things. And like you said, pay
and
for
I
law
wanted
school.
to do them. And listen, it wasn't that he asked me. I wanted to do it. I thought that was a loving, kind thing to do.
Right.
I think that threatened by a woman's success is one of the biggest, easiest, obvious ways to just completely crumble a relationship, but it's so hard to see as a woman.
But men say they want women who are successful.
And then they get them and they're like, but be a little less. And you're like, wait, you say you want that, but then you get it. And they're like, what? And so to think about you and having someone so threatened by your success, you're so right that like now being out of that, obviously, for a while and being on your own, having gone on, like, dated people, whatever, like, how have you maintained now a promise to yourself, essentially, that you will never allow yourself to be with someone
that'll
who's
never
so
happen
threatened
to me again? Well, you want somebody who lifts you up. You want somebody who's proud of you. You want somebody who thinks, God, I think it's great being with you.
Yes.
I'm looking for him. Is he here in the room?
Yeah, where is he?
It wasn't that. And I just started thinking about it. And I think, I think he probably wanted out of the marriage too, for whatever reason. And I remember that one therapist said, Gayle, this marriage can work if you become a doormat. He said to me,
he was jealous of her. So ladies, and I think women should not marry men who make less than them. Okay, you know how I feel about that. When I say less, I mean you're making 50, he's making 25. Of course, you're going to be the breadwinner, okay? Or you're making 100 and he's making 50. I do not think women should choose husbands who are not able to provide for them based on their income. Okay, so how to make sure he's not resentful of you? Okay, ladies. Do not marry a man who make less than you. Of course, it seems as if Gayle became where she started out earning him, but she also said that they lived a good life. He was just there for the lifestyle because she was providing an excellent lifestyle for him, for her and the kids, right? She's thinking, okay, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do to make my family be comfortable. Women don't do that. Okay, first of all, do not marry a man who makes less than you. Marry a man who you can live on his income. So even if, like Gayle, I just don't remember the story, how they met and all this. If anybody remember, tell me in the comments. If you marry a man who let's say he make more than you when you got married, but then you start to out earn him, marry a man where you can live on his income. Okay? Don't get to the place where you do not need him. I share that I still work and my husband pay all of our bills. And when me and Lexi, my daughter's gonna get her hair and nails done, I still ask him for money. People say, why you are doing that? You work. Because you have to put a demand on the anointing in his life to provide for you. You hear that? Because you must put the demand and you must continue to demand. Put a demand on the anointing for him to work. Never get to the place where, I don't need him. I got my own money. No, once you start doing that, he's going to become resentful towards you, unless he's a duster and he just don't mind you taking care of him. If I go to the store, if I go to Marshall's or Burlington and I use my account, my husband's like, babe, why didn't you use the house account? Because we have a house account. House account pays all of our bills. My husband's income is the only one that goes in there. In 13 years of marriage, none of my money has gone in the house account to pay bills because he pays all. The only money that I transfer to the house account is when I get paid. I transfer my tithes and orphan. He pays our tithes and orphan, and give orphans, first fruits, cheerful giving, whatever you want to call it. We believe in tithing and orphan, and he pays when I send it to him. Other than nothing. Okay. So, ladies who are dating for marriage, leave these men who are not able to provide independent of you. That's what I believe. Okay. I believe if I'm going to marry a man, submit to him, respect him, honor him, adore him, have his babies, the least, my daddy said, the least he can do is put a roof over your head and food on your table. I would not marry a man who is not able to provide a comfortable life for me. Okay. I'm not talking about luxury. I'm talking about comfortable. What makes you comfortable? This makes me comfortable. I have a nice 4-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 3 floors house. um I'm comfortable. We have money in the bank. Son goes to private school. My kids do piano. They take music lessons, swimming lessons, tennis, golf. Comfortable. Okay, I've never been a shopaholic in that I want Chanel, Louis, Vivi, and all them people. I shop at Burlington's. I go to clearance section, Marshalls, Target. That's where I shop. I buy my stuff. Okay. So, like he said, he will be happy when that Gayle King Sugar Honey Iced Tea is over because he was jealous of her. He was resentful. Instead of him celebrating her, he was jealous and resentful of her. Okay. Are you in a marriage where your husband is resentful of you? Let me know. Are you dating a guy that he's resentful of you? Let me know. Did you marry a man that is resentful of you? I absolutely love you. I adore your cousins. Let me know what you think. Mwah. Talk to you later. Oh, the husband profile begins September 26th. For the fall, September 26th. If you want to take the husband profile, the link is below. Sign up. I have excellent payment plans over there. Send me an email if you have more questions, clarification. Once you sign up, I schedule a one-on-one with you. I send you this book here, and I send you the virtual ebook. Okay. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.